You probably think that to make your life better, you need to make big changes very quickly. You couldn't be farther from the truth. Dear fellow citizens of the world, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Nick. I'm a career and performance coach. And on this channel, we talk about career, mindset, and personal growth. I want to share with you 7 simple habits that you can start implementing today to make positive changes in your life. So it's very important to remember that small steps each day always beats radical changes all of a sudden. So you need to make sure those habits become part of your life because consistency is key if you want to see positive results. Imagine it's like learning a language. You could spend 3 hours studying 1 day per week. That would never beat studying 10 minutes a day, every day. Consistency will create results. So with that in mind, let's start with the 7 habits. This one is very important. It's all about the environment you create around yourself. So you might not be a big fan of cleaning up your place, your house, and maybe you don't have time to do it. But if you have one thing to consider, it's create your own creative, productive space. So I'm thinking right now about a desk because this is where I spend most of my time and what most people do when they have to go to work or working from home. But that could be any space in your house that you feel comfortable being creative in or productive in. So it could be the sofa, maybe it could be a beanbag. It could be some part of the room when you're sitting on the floor. My desk is the place that I take care about. So I want to make sure that this place, when I sit down and start working, there's no distractions. There's no clutters everywhere. All the things that are there are conducive for me to be focused on what I'm supposed to do. So I like to streamline things and to keep things very clean. So there's not going to be a lot of things on my desk, but this is for me very important. If you want to make positive changes in your life, your space needs to be reflecting the environment you want to create for yourself. One thing that we don't necessarily think about as we get busy throughout the day, it's drinking. And as simple as it sounds, it's very easy to forget, especially when it's not so hot and you don't get to sweat. It's pretty cold, maybe in your house in the winter time. You feel like you don't need to drink, but that's a big mistake because as you work, as you use your brain, as you use your energy, your imagination, you get dehydrated naturally. And you need to keep that in mind because if you get dehydrated, you're going to get headaches, you're going to get tired. It's going to be very difficult for you to make decisions. So you need to keep drinking. And if you're not really health conscious, or you don't like to cook healthy or anything like this is really the only thing you need to focus on. Again, simple steps, simple habits that I want to mention to you today. Keep drinking. It should be on your desk. It should be a bottle, a mug, or anything like this, but you need to remind yourself. So what do we say? 2 to 3 liters every day to make sure you stay hydrated, which reinforce again the positive changes you can make in your life between being sluggish and being healthy and more productive and active. Now, one thing you're going to love or not is have a 10-minute date with yourself every day. So why do I say that? Because as we go through the day, working, focusing on what you do, talking to people on Zoom conferences, you probably get tired. So what do you do then? You scroll on social media, you watch some YouTube videos, and then you forget the most essential part, which is yourself. And it's easy for me to say because as an introvert, it's very easy to do, to be on my own and get to think. But maybe some of you are really more into the active, productive way of doing things. And you need to take that time. You need to take those 10 minutes every day to be with yourself, meaning it's time for you to process all the information that you've been accumulating throughout the day. It's time to assimilate it. It's time to reflect on it. So maybe you're reviewing your day, you're planning the next day, but you take those 10 minutes by yourself, distraction-free, put your phone away and try to think. And you don't need to talk to yourself, but at least be here with yourself and try to understand, how do I feel right now? What do I want to accomplish today or tomorrow? This is the time for you to reflect and to empower yourself to make positive changes in your life. Now, what about reading? I know I'm a very slow reader, yet I also understand the power of me reading books. And when I say reading, I'm not talking about, again, scrolling on your social feeds. This is not reading. This is absorbing negative content. Read something, fiction or non-fiction. Okay, the fiction part is going to help you spark creativity. And we'll talk about this in the next point as well. Non-fiction is going to help you accumulate new knowledge. So it could be about anything, psychology, personal development, maybe the psychology of money, maybe how you can feel more fulfilled in your life. But read something that feeds your mind with something different than the news and social media. You will see tremendous benefits in a very short term because your mind is going to start focusing on things that are way beyond what you think is possible and what you see on your daily routine. Now, just talk about creativity. So if you're a painter, drawer, singer, this is great. You already have an outlet for you to be creative and to use the second half of your brain. That is not the rational part. Me, I'm not really that creative and that good at crafts. So for me, scribbling is enough to spark ideas, to use the part of my brain that I don't use when I'm being more rational. The point is, take the time, let's say again, 10 minutes to sketch, to draw, to scribble, to write poems, to do something that takes you away from the regular routine, your regular work routine, or just life routine in general. Do this to use your brain in a different way, because by doing this, somehow you will get new ideas, you will get better ideas, and you can shift your perspective on whatever you're doing during the day. So if you're focused on work and you get stuck on a problem, then by doing this, you might find new perspective, new angles that you can really use to make your life better. Now, do you like exercising? Are you an athlete? Are you really into working out or not? Now, if you're not, you still need to do something with your body. You cannot just stay sitting down. And we spend a lot of time sitting at our desk. And I realize that because I'm getting a bit older and I can feel that I need to move more or stretch more. So my next habit for you is take 15 minutes. Let's keep it simple. Again, today is simple habits. 15 minutes a day when you're going to step out of your house. There's two reasons for this. The first one is mental. If you stay in your room all the time, in your office all the time, all you can see is four walls. All the same ideas are going to be flying around you, and it's going to be very restrictive. So when you step out of this environment, you get to see new things. You get to reflect differently. You get to see new perspective. Second of all, we tend to believe that outside is more polluted than inside, which is not necessarily true. Think about all the dust that accumulates in your house. Think about the waves from electronics, electrical devices. This is a pollution for your mind and your body. So you need this 15 minutes. Now, when I say 15 minutes, you can just walk around your neighborhood with no purpose. You just walk around to stretch your legs, to breathe fresh air, depending on where you live, but at least get your mind to see different things and think differently rather than staying in the same place all the time. 15 minutes is all it takes every day. And finally, to wrap up your day, make sure you don't watch TV or look at your phone before you go to sleep. Take 30 minutes before you go to sleep to turn off all these electronic devices. Maybe it's time for you to read that book that we've mentioned before. Maybe it's time for you to talk to yourself, be with yourself, as we also mentioned. This is the time for you to be in a quiet space. This is the time for you to condition your mind to rest. And your mind is going to process everything that's happened today. So you want to put your mind in a space that is comfortable, that is free of stress. So don't watch the news, don't watch your social feeds, because this is just going to bring more distraction and negativity in most cases. And you definitely don't want that before you go to sleep. So those 30 minutes are precious. First of all, you're going to get tired in a more natural way. Which is better for your mind. It will be at rest, it will be at peace, and you will sleep much better. And again, the same way you drink water every day, that you walk outside to exercise, your sleep is probably the most important part of your day. If you want to make sure you can continue being happy, fulfilled, and rested the next day, you need that sleep. So the goal of these 7 habits is really to help you feel more grounded. It's a bit of structure to put in place. But again, I picked habits that can be easily implemented. They are easy, they are essential because they impact your mind and your body. And you need to be balanced if you want to make sure you want to improve your life. So these 7 habits will keep you grounded, will keep your mind sharp, will keep you in shape. And at the same time, this consistency you are creating trickles down in every aspect of your life. So what seems to be simple daily habits that you probably feel you could skip actually have a much bigger impact in the future and in different areas of your life. So what are the 3 takeaways from today's video? Number 1, good habits are always more difficult to implement than negative habits. It's always easier to watch TV, snack on some chips, but the long-term effects of those positive habits will have a tremendous impact on your life. So you cannot underestimate the power of these small habits. Number 2, when you try to develop new habits, don't overdo it. Every time we try to implement new habits, we want to go all in for like a week, and then after a week, everything goes away. Take it one step at a time. And remember, doing a little bit every day is much more powerful than trying to do a lot of things only one time. So start small, but be consistent. Number 3, what seems to be difficult and like an obligation in the beginning to start implementing those habits soon becomes more natural and even more enjoyable. And that's when you truly know this is working. So when you know it's working, don't stop. Continue on. How many of these habits do you already have in place in your life? Which one seems to be working? Which ones are more difficult? And which one would you like to implement more? Please let me know in the comments down below. And if you find this video useful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more videos. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again in our next video.